Hey guys, this is the Talking Trampoline. Welcome back to another episode of basically the Funkle Your Grunkle simulator. So by all means, let's go Funkle the Grunkle. I can't believe it just came out of my mouth. Someone thumps their fist on the storage room door, steering you from sleep with a jolt and a thud as you fall off the mattress. Scrambling to your feet, you step over to the door and swing it open wide. Elisa, I need your help. It's at that moment that you look down to see Waddles swaddled in her arms, wearing a top hat and a small bow tie. Why is Waddles looking so dapper? He does look pretty dashing, doesn't he? Wait, we're not here to dish out compliments. There's an emergency. A love emergency. Mabel stares up at you with wide eyes, her little arms unmoving as Waddles attempts to wriggle free from her grasp. This kid's stronger than she looks. Knowing Mabel, this could mean she has a new crush. For what Dipper's told you, she's still deeply rooted in her boy-crazy phase, or she desperately wants to wed Waddles to some unsuspecting critter outside. Waddles and Gompers are renewing their vows today, and I can't find Gompers to put his gown on. You gotta help me find him. You weren't actually expecting your second guess to be right. Okay, wait, Mabel, just calm down for a second. But we have to find Gompers. The ceremony's in 20 minutes. Waddles wriggles himself free and runs down the hallway to freedom, ignoring Mabel's shriek of protest as she chases him. You're compelled to go back to bed, deciding this is almost definitely a dream, but jog after Mabel regardless. You catch sight of Mabel just as she leaps over Dipper, who's sitting on the floor with a large array of graph paper and chewed pencils. She runs to the back door, suspiciously open, after Waddles' snorting self yelling at him not to lose his tie. But Mabel, what's going on? Waddles wedding Gompers? You're a little out of breath. Mabel's fast. Dipper smacks a hand to his forehead, dragging it down his face dramatically. Of course, she told me they're renewing vows or something. They got married last summer, but she misses the pizzazz of weddings. Dipper looks nonplussed, but you can tell he's at least a little invested. Are you gonna help her with whatever that was? I don't even want to imagine this marriage failing. And with that, you run past him, Dipper stutters of surprise growing fainter as you head outside. Mabel's already a ways away when you burst out into the shack's backyard. Fortunately, Stan and Ford are nowhere in sight. You're not sure what you think of them finding you're searching for a goat bride as Mabel calls out to lure Gompers home. Come on, Gompers! I already booked the second honeymoon and the caterers are gonna be mad. Runaway brides are so cliche. She's so adorable. Oh my goodness. She's seriously invested in this farm critter marriage. That or she's watched way too many dramatic romance movies or both. Both is good. Gompers? Come on, goat pal, where are you? You hear Dipper head towards Mabel to help her look, so you veer opposite, opting to cover more ground in search of the runaway goat bride. Under the shack's foundation. You duck onto your knees and look under the house. There's a large hole that leads somewhere underground, but you figure Gompers isn't down there if that's Ford's illustrious basement Dipper gussed about. Inside Stan's car, because why the fuck not? Despite the absence of both Stan and Ford, the former's cherry red car sits in front of the shack, gleaming in the summer sun. You head towards it and peer in the windows, cupping your hands around your eyes to see inside. There's a can of Pit Cola on the passenger seat, a badly hidden pack of cigars in the driver's side door pocket, and a magazine on the floor of the back seat. You squint at it and find it's emblazoned with the title, Fully Clothed Women. Interesting, and you hope Stan will clean that up before you go on another drive with him, but it's not a goat. Only option left is the roof. You walk backwards and put your hand to your brow, shielding your eyes from the sun as you search the scaffolding of the shack. Nothing. You continue walking to the side now until rays of sunlight obscure the view above the sign to the gift shop. Rather serendipitously, holy crap, a cloud glides overhead to block the sun and you're able to look up higher, seeing this misspelled lettering, the various wear and tear in the roof, and the small billy goat munching on part of the weather vane. Wait. Hey Mabel! Yeah? You point up to the roof at Gompers. Here comes the bride. Ah! Mabel shrieks Gompers and sprints into the gift shop, slamming the door so hard the open sign flips to closed. Jesus, Mabel, calm your tits. There's silence for a moment, then something flips open on the roof's small balcony and Mabel pops out from underneath, climbing up on the roof and attempting to coax Gompers down. There's a ladder up to that little balcony thing inside the gift shop. It's pretty cool for fireworks. Mabel pulls a sandwich from her sleeve, you can't help but imagine what else she has up in there, and waves it in Gomper's direction, and he trots towards the balcony, hopping down to Mabel's level and snatching the sandwich from her hand. She grabs the goat and heads back down the ladder into the gift shop. Oh Gompers, you can't get the pre-wedding jitters anymore, you're already married. You can't get away that easy. Thanks a billion, Elise, you saved the wedding. And with that, Mabel gets to work on wrestling Gompers into his dress, yelling commands to Dipper to grab Waddles, who, thankfully, didn't get his bow tie dirty when he dashed away earlier. And he get everything ready for the most important ceremony in the history of ever. Maybe an exaggeration, but Mabel's excitement is undoubtedly contagious. Okay, once Dip finds Waddles, I think we got everything ready. I am, of course, the what? The Vicar? Vicar, it's Vicar. The Vicar Caterer Proud Mother musical guest combo. Dipper's gonna take pictures for my scrapbook. Hey, I never agreed to that. Dipper, please. I've gotta officiate. Do you mean officiate? See, I'm so busy I can't even talk right. Please, Dipper, I'll help you with some nerd thing later, I pinky swear. Dipper contemplates this, hands at his chin, mirroring his Grunkle Ford, of course. As long as you actually do this time, then yeah, I'll take those pictures. Mabel jumps up and down with excitement, jostling poor Gompers in her arms. Yay, thank you, Dipper, I owe you one. This is what the best brother looks like right here, Elise. Ah, okay. You don't have to do that whole thing again. I'll get back to... Waddles, you get back here. Okay, now we have that fixed. That means we have... Wait! Sue's left already. My ring bearer is gone. Oh no! What are we gonna do, Gompers? Gompers gives the intelligent answer of... Bah, chewing on his bridal veil. I could ask her, but I don't know. Gompers chooses that moment to look into Mabel's eyes and bleat at her insistently. Mabel naturally takes this as a sign from goat. A sign from God, but instead it's a sign from goat. That's clever. That's some clever shit right there. You're right, of course, this is your special day, again. Mabel turns to you with pleading eyes. Hey Elise, could you be the new ring bearer for the ceremony? It would give me no greater honor. It would give me no greater honor. I'm very invested in this partnership, Mabel. I gotta see it through. Mabel beams, obviously very pleased that you're taking this as seriously as she is. Thank you, Elise. Now let's get this show on the road. Or this wedding on the backyard, it still works. Mabel runs back into the house and you hear her thudding upstairs faster than a hungry Waddles. Gompers, thankfully still occupied by the half a sandwich Mabel taunted him with, stays put. She comes back soon with a fluffy purple pillow and 2 clear sticks. After snapping the sticks in half, glow sticks. They're glow sticks. She curls them into a small bracelet-sized rings. These are so much more fun than rings, plus Waddles can put it on his tail to look super handsome. Waddles oinks in agreement. In his mad dash out of the house, he's lost his top hat. Hold your hands out, palm up, and get down so you're not as tall. They can't put the rings on each other if you're way up there. She's got a point. You duck to your knees in the dirt, and Mabel turns your hands palm up, revertedly placing the pillow and the glow stick rings atop of them. Okay, Mabel, I'm here with the camera for... Elisa, why are you on the ground? You gestured to a happy couple with a wide arc of your arm. They needed a ring bearer. Well, I guess they do. Mabel nods, small hands on her hips. She looks over the wedding scene and mumbles to herself, checking things off a mental checklist. Okay, I think we have... Wait! I forgot the flower petals. I'll be right back. Aww. And she's gone again, leaving you alone with a pig groom, a goat bride, and 2 glow-stick bands of matrimony. Goatrimony. That kind of works. You decide not to correct that pun on Dipper, who's examining his disposable camera. He pops the back open aside, smacking a hand to his forehead. This one's out of film. It must have been the one Mabel used at Candy's party. He looks up at you and shrugs. I'll go get one of my spares. Make sure these 2 don't go anywhere or Mabel will... Well, you know Mabel. You haven't known Mabel as long as Dipper has, but you understand immediately. You're left alone in the backyard with a groom's pig, a bride goat, 2 glow sticks, and a broken disposable camera. While you love to say that you've absolutely been in this situation before, you unfortunately have not. I really am happy for you both, Waddles and Gompers. Both animals turn to you, nonchalant to the current state of events. But I can't believe Mabel forgot the flower petals. Jeez. Just as you go to continue the one-sided conversation between human, goat, and pig, you hear 2 voices coming from around the house. 2 very familiar voices. Listen, Sixer, if you hadn't gone off about the wobbly junker, the gobble wonker, Stanley, has Dipper really never told you? Then you would have freaked out at the kid at the store we needed, and we'd have, oh, I don't know, the stuff to fix my house after you got a scar stuck in it. It's still my house, and besides, if he was a fisherman, he needed to know. Hey dudes. Both stand and forth around the corner to find you sitting on your heels next to Waddles and Gompers, brandishing a pillow and glow sticks in the dirt. The 3 of you stare at each other in silence. 7-2. Mabel needed a ring bearer for the wedding. It's at that moment that Mabel kicks down the back door, runs to your side, and throws rose petals atop your head. Ta-da! You blow a rose petal off the tip of your nose and grin at Mabel. I think our bride and groom are ready to renew their vows, don't you? Mabel nods emphatically. Emphatically? I know English. At you before turning to her Grunkles, lighting up her 100-watt smile. Yes, Grunkle Stan, Grunkle Ford, you guys got back just in time. And just like that, Mabel pushes Stan and Ford toward you and tugs their hand so they sit across from you. Stan complains about his knees, and Ford asks Dipper exactly why the pig and the goat are betrothed. Fits with what you know about both at this point. Mabel makes way with the wedding, and you sit cross-legged, the pillow and glow rings on your lap. Every so often, Mabel stifles at the theatrical sob, wiping a very real tear from her eye before she turns to you for the rings. Oh, Mabel, how should the betrothed, wear their rings, since they don't have ring fingers? Just put them on where you think they'll fit best. Around one goat horn and Waddles' tail. You get up and promptly crouch down in front of Waddles and Gompers, playing your ring bearer part very seriously. A glow stick ring goes onto one of Gompers' horns, and you place the other on Waddles' rear, hanging off his curly tail. I now pronounce you husband and husband. Again! You may now kiss the goat. Waddles sniffs at Gompers and snorts. That definitely counts. No, that's so cute. I'm gonna save. I don't want this marriage to start all over again. Not that it's bad. Never mind, I never said anything. Dipper reappears with a new camera. Mabel throws more rose petals at him. A few get stuck to his fluffy head and he rolls his eyes, but retaliates by taking a very close-up picture, the flash temporarily blinding her. Hey, save the film for the renewed newlyweds. I need plenty of pictures for my scrapbook. You owe me a new camera for this, Mabel. He sounds annoyed, but his fond sibling smile gives away and he starts taking pictures of the happy couple, getting odd angles and as Mabel pushes them into silly poses. You step away from the scene, go to head back into the house. Being a ring bearer is thirsty work, but Stanley stops you before you make it to the door. Hey Elise, thanks for playing along with Mabel with the whole wedding thing. We're both glad you're willing to entertain her whenever we're gone. She didn't, make you do it, did she? Oh, she didn't. She needed a ring bearer, so I stepped up to help. Stanford arch matching brows at you. I'm very invested in the marriage of a goat and a pig, you know. The three of you laugh and Stan pats your shoulder. Ford gives you a warm smile. Well, I'm glad you're as into it as she is. Thank you for that. Yeah, kid, it's nice of you to be, nice to her, you know? I mean, she's a fucking kid. Why wouldn't I be nice to Mabel of all people? It's Mabel. You gotta be nice to Mabel. If you're not nice to Mabel, if you don't love Mabel, you just don't have a heart, okay? Stan clears his throat, awkwardly rubbing the back of his neck. Thanks for playing with Mabel and her weird wedding thing. Looks like she likes you. It's not hard, but still. He gives you a genuinely grateful smile that you easily return. It's no problem, really. I'm happy to keep her and Dipper happy whenever I can. Stan nods at you. Pink in the cheek. Cut it out! Before going past you and heading into the house. You swear you see Ford give him a funny look, but you could just be imagining it. Hey Lisa, you're gonna miss a party. We got popsicles. I called her at once. Pineapple ones are mine, I call dibs. But the pineapples ones are the best ones. Mabel and Stan wrestle over a yellow popsicle, while Dipper contentedly unwraps a red one, holding it above his head and out of Gomper's way. Ford gingerly picks out a purple ice pop and leaves the ice chest open for you to grab one as well. While Stan and Mabel aren't looking, you hide the pineapple popsicles at the bottom of the chest. Dipper sees and starts laughing, but he doesn't tell. They're a strange bunch, these two sets of Pines twins, but they're certainly making your summer a whole lot more exciting as you stay at the mystery shack continues. Your wreck of a car sitting outside in the heat of the setting sun. It's too cute, I can't. It's another day of summer with nothing to do but wait. Your schedule is surprisingly clear today. Stan usually has something going on for you to help with, and if not, Ford, Suze, or the kids do. Who do you want to find? Well, we're doing Stan's path, so let's fucking talk to Stan. You pass through the living room and Mabel spots you from her seat at the table. Elise, I was hoping I'd see you. Come on, I want to ask you something. Mabel points down at the table with a raspberry pink colored pencil. Her art supplies, scattered across the table, lie across various sheets of paper with brightly colored doodles and lots of glitter. You see a drawing that looks like a cross between Barney and Godzilla, a page full of puppies, and a page with a drawing that kind of looks like you with... Is that Ford or Stan? Mabel's not finished with it yet, but the telltale jawline gives it away. You sit down at the table across from Mabel and suddenly get the same feeling you get at a job interview. It's intensified when she pushes her organized chaos of papers aside and steeples her fingers over the table's surface. Elise, I'll be frank. I've been trying to find a match for my Grunkles for a while, but I never seem to get their matches made. Sorry, a match? But then it's like you were pulled from thin air, attracted to the shack by a magnet of love. It was a sign, and this week just made the chemistry you share with him obvious. You know who I'm talking about, right? Stan. Exactly! Grunkle Stan says he's not looking for love anymore, but I think he says that after every rejection. True. Yeah. He's a romantic deep down, I can feel it. And you know what they say, even if you're not looking for it, love will find you no matter what. Love? That's a jump, to say the least. Well, you've certainly had enough time to form your opinion on Stan, and it's shifted and changed with every additional minute. He's got off his own fair share of mysteries, and damn it, you're curious. There's plenty of potential here. I can't see it in your face. You know what would really get this chemistry going? Talking to him? What? No, I'm thinking something more romantic. Hold on, I'm getting an idea. I'll get everything ready, Elisa. You just focus on falling completely and utterly in love. Matchmaker Mabel is back in the game. Oh my god. Mabel, can you not? Just as you exit the talk with Mabel, you run into Dipper right outside the living room, and it doesn't seem like an accident either. His arms are crossed and he's looking at you dubiously. So, I heard about Mabel's plan. How do you... I just left the room. Yeah, well, word travels fast, and Mabel sends out mass update texts. Oh. His defensive posture softens a bit. Just tell me one thing. I know my grunkles can look after themselves, but can you promise me you won't hurt Grunkle Stan? Oh, you can trust me, Dip Dip. Okay, Elisa, I'm remembering that. A text notification sounds and Dipper checks his phone. And be ready tomorrow afternoon? For your lakeside date with Grunkle Stan? Ugh, this feels awkward enough. No offense, Elisa, it's just my Grunkle Stan actually going on a date? Do old people even date? Kind of hard to wrap my head around. I hope Mabel doesn't ask me for my help tomorrow. I mean, I have enough trouble trying to date for myself. Mabel calls from downstairs. Hey, Dip Dip! I'm gonna need your help tomorrow. Well, never mind. Oh man. Safe. That's safe. Well, never mind. Never mind indeed. That night, you head back to your room, ready to go to bed, but mentally still stuck on that interesting conversation earlier with Mabel. Mabel had already put her plan into motion over dinner. Turns out Stan had been planning to take the kids to the lake tomorrow to go fishing. And lucky you, Mabel managed to score you an invite. Well. Waddles joins you, surprisingly, and you have some fun petting his belly and taking pictures as a distraction from your thoughts. It's almost like he knew something was up. Or did Mabel send him? Is he infiltrating your safety zone for intel? You decide not, laying back onto your mattress to try and relax. Waddle settles by your side, snuggling up. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Thank you for the support, little buddy. Eventually, you get tired of your phone and decide to close your eyes, but you can't stop thinking about what Mabel said. Stan, a romantic? Is that what Mabel said? Yeah, right. No way. Maybe charming in his own way, sure, but the type of guy to go on an actual date? Planned by Mabel? What was Mabel planning anyway? She might go for something fancy and formal, but Stan really seems in his element with the hands-on, nitty-gritty stuff. Hopefully calling it a date won't ruin the natural thing you have going. Your eyes finally close for good. For good? Or just for the night. Feeling weighed down and heavy. You give Waddles a pat while you still can, before slipping into unconsciousness. Aww. You slip out of a dream and back into your room in real life. The sky is light outside and groggily you feel regret as you realize Waddle's comforting weight isn't there anymore. Wait, that's not what you're regretting. You're regretting the end of what you feel like was a really good dream. Stan had taken you with him to the lake, you think, and somehow ended up in the water. Sunlight streamed down on him as he grinned at you, his white shirt sticking to wet skin. That'd be a date, alright. Can you not? Now I can't get that mental image out of my fucking head. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? No. That'd be a date, alright. But it's the last thing you're expecting from today. Laughing quietly at yourself, you glance at the clock to see it's time to get ready for the day anyway. A little while later and you're dressed for a day at the lake, meaning dressed for a regular day of summer. You're not sure what to expect, so you kept it casual. You would have eaten breakfast with Stan and the kids, but you were barred from the kitchen by Mabel, who was shielding you from a surprise. Instead, you were handed a slice of toast topped with oddly cheerful sunny-side-up egg and waved outside. Now that you're out in the sunlight, you can see that Mabel stuck a smiley face sticker on top of the egg. You peel it up with a shrug and dig in. Leaning against the scarlet door of the El Diablo, you stare up at the totem pole outside the shack, thinking about how it both stands out and fits perfectly in with the shack's aesthetic. It's obviously part of the weirdness of the tourist shop, but you're not sure why. It looks pretty well made, even if it's kind of creepy that whenever you move your eyes at the top, it seems to follow you. Suddenly, the front door of the house bursts open and a flurry of sequins and glittery hair clips flies out, attached to a very excited Mabel. Hey Lisa, are you ready? You're not spying any conspiratory nudges or winks, so you kind of think Mabel's dropped the whole date setup thing, at least for the moment. For what, fishing? Yeah, aren't you excited? No, I hate fishing. I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it. This isn't just regular lake fishing. This is like Lake Gravity Falls fishing, where adventure awaits, danger is hot on your heels, and the islands shift and move in the corners of your eye. I'm sorry, the what? The what move? Are we talking about Scuttlebutt Island? I laughed telling that one. So we're out on the shore, right, and we saw this giant... Hey, you kids better not be giving Elise that lake monster story again. Stan comes out of the shack with several fishing rods in the crook of his arm, as well as a large tackle box in his right hand. In his other hand are 4 fishing hats with a haphazard embroidery on the front of 2 of them. A closer look reveals that there are actually names stitched onto the hats, reading Mabel and Dippy. Dippy. It's the hats. It's amazing. Grunkle Stan, you don't have to pretend not to believe us anymore. I swear it really happened. It just rose right up the water and started chasing us. And we had to row back as fast as we could, and it was speaking in creepy monster language. And what did I say? No more of that monster talk or you're gonna scare Elisa away. Both kids look a little disappointed, but leave it at that. Stan puts on a smile, drops Dipper and Mabel's respective fishing hats on their heads, and Mabel tucks hers on while running to the car while Dipper follows, exchanging his usual head for the fishing one. Stan looks out after them, then turns to face you. Kids love to exaggerate. Pretty sure it wasn't that terrifying. I've seen the short. I almost pissed my pants. That was scary as all fuck. Besides, I've been through worse. You hear that, kids? Only your Grunkle Stan got the right to complain. Stan hefts his fishing supplies over to one arm, using the other to dig around his pocket for the car keys. He tosses the rods, hats, and tackle box inside. Mabel's hand darted in before Stan can close the trunk, grabbing a hat. Before you can tell what it says, it's shoved into your hands, and you smooth out the fabric to read Elise. Stan groans. Mabel, I thought I told you I wasn't gonna give it to her. But you worked so hard stitching it this morning. You even got the letters the right way on. Mostly. Mabel gets in the back seat next to Dipper, leaving you to look at the hat more closely. The sewing is a little messy, and one of the letters is backwards, but Stan clearly put some amount of care into it. Aww, you made me a hat. I feel so special now. Speaking of Stan, he's staring at the hat Mabel shoved at you, thinking of something to say. Did you really make this for me? Stan scratches the back of his head and shrugs a little. Yeah, Mabel wouldn't let me leave until I made you one. Said it was nicer if all of us had matching hats or something. Put the hat back in the trunk for never. Oh, rude! Put the hat in your pocket for later. Immediately put it on. Yes. You put it on and beam at Stan. That's what I would do. I would put it the fuck on and never take it off. He doesn't respond, just reaching up and closes the trunk, but you see he looks almost too privately pleased to give comment. Ha ha ha. Come on, let's get to the lake before all those tourists take up the good parking spots. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, this is beautiful. Puns. The parking lot is far less packed than what Stan made it out to be. The weather brought you out the true fishing fanatics, and you recognize a few customers from the Shaq's gift shop milling about. There are a couple clouds out, but the sunshine is warm against your skin as you step out of the car and you shield your eyes from the light as you look out over the lake. A few boats bobbing up and down in the blue-gray water sport telltale signs of fellow fishers with poles sticking out of the boat's edges. But some people are just relaxing in the water. Families sit on beach towels to sunbathe, and you spot a couple kids standing in line for the hot dog stand. For a small town, this place is pretty lively. Mabel and Dipper run out to the shore, where a splash from Mabel soon devolves at the moment into a contest of who can splash who worst. You grin at them and their laughter, but a quiet grunt from behind you catches your attention. Left to get everything out of the trunk, Stan True struggles to get the fishing equipment out without dropping anything. Let's help him. Hey, need some help? Stan glances up at you. It's really not that much, you know. Then why are you struggling? Huh? Smart guy. Not even a couple of poles? Stan considers this for a moment, then hands you 2 of the 4 fishing poles. Think you can hold your own? What, under the crushing weight of a couple fishing poles? I think I can manage. You hear Mabel's voice from the distance away from the shore. Truce! Hold on, I've got a phone call. You see Mabel taking out her cell phone, and Dipper takes the opportunities to start wringing out parts of his shirt. Okay, I'll be there in 5. Bye, Granda. Mabel hangs up and rushes to you and Stan. Uncle Stan, I'm really sorry, but an emergency is happening right as we speak. What, is somebody dying? No, the opposite. A birthing. A birthing? Who's giving birth? Granda Jr. is having a baby right now and Granda needs me there for motherly support. Grunkle Stan, you've got to let me go. Stan scratches his head and frowns. I don't know, sweetie. I thought we were all gonna go fishing today. Can't she hold it in? Isn't that a thing that happens? You know, it's actually a thing that some men think we can hold our periods in and that we're just lazy taking a whole week off to bleed. That's actually a thing. I read about it recently. It's so fucking stupid. Nope, and it's not every day I get to see the wonders of an iguana childbirth. Grunkle Stan, please. Mabel gives him those patented Mabel puppy eyes. Stan lets out a heavy sigh, shakes his head and smiles. Alright, Pumpkin, go on. I know your friend is waiting for you. Thank you! Mabel wraps her arms around Stan's waist and gives him a strong hug, her wide grin never faltering. She then lets go and grabs Dipper's wrist before dashing off. And I'm taking Dipper for moral support! Wait, I didn't agree to this! Mabel! I thought lizards hatched from eggs. Thought so too, but hell, I've seen weirder. Best not to question it, kid. Before you delve too deeply into the thought of live birth lizards, your phone buzzes in your pocket. You pull it out and it's a text from Mabel. Hi, Elise, I fixed you up so you get a whole day with Grunkle Stan. Have fun. Oh shoot, gotta go. Granda says Granda is getting closer to baby time. See ya. That clever little devil. That little shit. Something wrong? Nah, just Mabel saying she's going to send lots of pictures of the newborn lizard. Well, come on, let's get to fishing before it gets dark out. Okay, let's save for a minute. There we go. Towards the end of the first pier, docked with only a frayed length of rope, is a sad-looking dinghy with the words "Stanley" brushed on in thick black paint. You note a small rusting motor on the stern that looks as if it's going to fall apart at any moment, and what looks like a hastily made patch on the side. There's no way this thing is watertight. Stan sets the 2 poles down inside, along with the tackle box adjusters at the boat. Well, there she is. A beauty, ain't she? You look at Stan, then back at the boat, then back at him. It's a bit small, don't you think? Stan crosses his arms. What, you're saying you got a problem with my boat? No, it's just carp capacity. Where are we going to put the massive amounts of fish we're about to catch? Stan laughs at that, his expression brightening. Ha! Optimistic. I like it. I'm gonna reel in so much fish it'll be coming out of your ears, Stanley pines. Alright, hotshot, I'll hold you to that. Stan climbs down in the boat first, then offers you his hand to steady yourself as you follow him down. The boat wobbles a little, swaying dangerously away from your body, but Stan's grip is firm and you're able to get into the boat without incident. Whoa there, careful now, wouldn't want you getting wet before we even started. The footing's a little tricky, see, that plank has a habit of moving and tipping this boat the whole way over, and when that happens, you want to swing your weight over here. Okay, no, I'm getting out. Stan chuckles heartily, making it clear that he was joking. Jackass! In your relief, you notice that he's still holding your hand from the assist earlier. I'm just messing with you. Don't worry, you're not gonna get wet, Toots. You're in good hands. And this, isn't the only fishing vessel I own. The other one's bigger, called the Stanley too. Creative! Hey, I'm not joking this time, I've got pictures. Hold on. And you, quit standing, take a seat. Don't want you losing your balance. You sit and watch Stan digs out his wallet and opens it. It's so full of photos that several come free, fluttering down the floor of the boat. As you pick them up, you see that they're pictures of Suze, the kids, and the teenager you've been told is Wendy. This is the Stanley too. Stan hands you an unfolded photo, which depicts him and Ford standing proudly on the deck of a comparatively larger, newer, and safer looking vessel than the one you're in now. It's docked in a place you don't recognize, and the sky is bright blue and cloudless. She's a resilient one, sailed all over and never let me down once. Well, until me and Ford came back to Oregon. Then, poof, she sputtered out and we had to send her in for repairs. Something about sailing in extreme environments. Point is, I'm back down to the Stanley Mark 1 over here. This old girl's got her quirks, but she's reliable. I'm guessing this one needs fixing pretty often. Yeah, just like my El Diablo. Every time it broke down, I just fixed it up again. Learned out real quick what to do and what not to do under the hood. He chuckles to himself and dusts off his hands before presenting his outstretched palm to you. You see that big star? Star? What the fuck? You see that big scar right across my palm? I told the kids I got it fighting off a grizzly bear. Ha! You should have seen the looks on their faces. Thought I was some kind of hero, you know? But the real story is I burned it on the engine when I was 16. Must have thought I was hot stuff trying to change the oil while the car was running. Dumbass. Oh my god, were you alright? That must have been so painful. My pops called me an idiot for thinking the engine wasn't hot, but my mom cleaned me up in the end. You remember you're still holding his photos and you hand them all back, which he returns to his wallet with some difficulty. Hey, does that wallet just carry photos, or does it hold money from time to time? Stan chuckles at your teasing. Nah, I just keep a lot of photos in there to remember, it keeps me grounded. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Stan turns busying himself with cranking the motor, and with a few pulls it sputters to life, expelling a thick plume of exhaust. He coughs and attempts to wave it away quickly. Stan gives the motor a couple of good thumps and it quits coughing, the engine smoothing out into a much gentler thrum. From there, he's back to focusing on untying the boat from the pier and easing it out in the open water of the lake. How wonderful. Let's save. Okay. Glancing around, you spot the two policemen from your night in the clink, and you quickly duck out of sight, hoping to avoid being seen. Stan turns his head and notices you crouched on the bottom of the boat creaks an eyebrow. You hiding from the sun or something? No, it's those two cops from a few days ago. Stan whips his head around, spots them, and lets out a laugh so loud it startles you. Who, Blobs and Durland? Ha! I told you those two are harmless. And besides, I think today they're a little more focused on each other than us. You peek your head up over the edge of the boat, just enough to check out Stan's claim. Sure enough, the two cops seem to be very engrossed only in each other, laughing and applying sunscreen to each other's skin. It's cute, you think, and it's a relief that they're not on the lookout to rescue you and Stan again. Whew, thank goodness. That cell was way too cold to go back to. Stan gives you a nod of agreement, opening the tackle box. There's a bunch of colorful lures inside, a few hooks, and some spare string from the poles. He motions you for you to hand him your pole, and within moments he's got a hook tied to the end of your line. You a live bait or a lure kind of person? A lure lover. I don't like live bait. Ah, gotcha. I'm a live bait man myself, but I bet I can swing you over to my side in no time. Stan picks out a featured lure from the tackle box and attaches it to your end of the line, then hands you back your pole. The two of you settle into the relative quiet. As you wait for a bite, you look over the lake at the other people outside today. Whether because he noticed or because he was just filling the lull in conversation, Stan starts pointing out faces of the locals, putting names to them and giving you a little background on each person. You quickly realize that the background info he gives has too much of his opinion mixed in to be useful, but try to remember the names anyway. Still, time passes easily, and you soon find yourself reeling in quite a few catches of your own. Huh. Looking over at Stan, you've clearly managed to catch more, but he dismisses the difference with the excuse that his luck is just waiting to kick in any moment now. Seriously, any moment. He glares at the lake for a minute, then lets it go, leaning back with a sigh. Phew, I think it's time for a water break, don't you? Trying to distract me so you can gain the advantage? Hey, if you faint out here, it's not gonna be on me, kid. You want a bottle or not? Okay, toss me one, would you? Stan leans down, digs around in the bottom of the boat towards the bow, and comes away with 2 bottles of water, wet with condensation. He smiles and tosses you the bottle, and you catch it, twisting off the cap and taking a grateful sip. Until now, you hadn't realized just how thirsty you actually were. Stan takes out his own bottle and starts chugging down the water, clearly more thirsty than you are. Some of the water slips past the opening, drips down his chin and onto his shirt, darkening the fabric. Your palms suddenly feel very sweaty and you can't look away. God damn it! No! Stop it! Stop that! Stan notices you staring at swallows, taking the bottle away and licking the stray moisture off his lips. Your eyes both meet, and for a long moment you both just stare at each other, neither daring to take a breath. Stan licks his lips again, slowly this time, almost deliberately so. No! Make it stop! Ugh. You can't see because I don't use webcam, but I'm holding a mirror and I'm red. I'm red in the face. Why would you do this? A sound of a boat motor breaks the silence and you whip your head around just in time to see a speedboat tear past you at a speed that's definitely illegal for a lake as small as this one. You have half a mind to share a very rude gesture to the driver, but suddenly Stan is grabbing your hand and shouting, "Look out!" Because the massive wave created in the speedboat's wake is headed in your direction. It slams into the dinghy and rocks it off balance, tipping it dangerously to one side before dumping you both into the water, fish and all. The water is cold, almost bitterly so for being middle of the summer, and despite surfacing nearly instantly, you're already soaked and shivering. The poles, the tackle box, and the fish are long gone, and the boat floats upturned some distance to your right. You swim over to it and grip onto the curved underbelly, grasping for air. You hear Stan spluttering behind you, making his way to the boat. He's yelling at the offending boat, using some very colorful terms you've never heard before, but make a mental note to remember later for posterity. Once he makes it to the center wharf, he sags heavily against the wood, taking a deep, measured breaths. He too is completely soaked, and his wet shirt clings tightly to his body. Stop! As his chest heaves, you can't help but look your fill, then pretend to be very interested in scanning the lake for the two policemen when Stan looks your way. Well, that's one disaster of a fishing trip. Hey, you can say that again. Stan lets out a disappointed groan, starts pulling off his jacket before tossing it on the upturned boat. What are we gonna tell Dipper and Maywell, that their old uncle's lost his fishing touch? Ha! You wish I could outfish you any day. I'd like to see you try, old man. Old man? Why, I oughta. He splashes water on you, and you shriek in mock outrage before a wicked grin fills your face. Dunk the bastard! Dunk him! Go big or go home, as the saying goes. You shove Stan under the water for a brief moment, and he comes up coughing and spitting water, and less thrilled than you initially hoped. Shit! I think I made a man. What are you trying to do, kid? Kill me? Oh, shit. Can I go back? Oh, back. What? No! Fuck off! I can only choose. You're really gonna play me like that? Are you really going to play me like this? I can't choose another. Did I really fuck up? Okay, no, fuck that. Fuck, no. Reload. Skip. Lure lover. Skip. Okay, let's try this again. Just splash him. You rake your arm through the water, creating a big enough wave that splashes Stan, re-soaking him from head to chest. He looks shocked for a moment before letting out a deep belly laugh and returning the gesture with an even bigger splash. So what? I cheated. I don't want him to be mad at me. Fuck that shit. By the time Blubs and Durlin come to rescue you, you both are so utterly soaked from the impromptu water battle that there's no way you're drying off in the sun. You and Stan exchange giddy smiles as Blubs heads back to the shore, and something tells you that despite losing all the fish, you weren't going back empty-handed, and neither was Stan. Oh, the sun is setting, that's nice. The walk back to the car is slow and methodical, a relief after the adrenaline rush you had just had a little while ago. Stan is wringing out his jacket, muttering under his breath something about damaging good Moroccan leather, when a sudden and violent cold chill runs through your body. Despite the warmth of the sun, your soaked clothes and clammy skin from the water all catch up at once and you start shivering. Oh jeez, here, take my jacket. Before you can protest, Stan is draping his jacket around your shoulders. God damn it, that shirt looks good on him. God fucking damn it. It's damp, but you're immediately surrounded by a sense of warmth, and your chills subside just a little bit. Somehow, despite having taken a dunk in the lake along with the rest of them, the jacket smells good. It's got a faint woodsy smell to it, a hint of smokiness. It takes everything you do It takes everything in you not to bury your nose into the thick of it. Ah. Quit it! While you're busy taking in the jacket, Stan hops into the driver's seat and has the El Diablo cranked and running in a flash. You need a ride back? Stan, you are my ride. I know I'm just teasing you. He reaches across the bench seat and opens the passenger door, motioning for you to come inside. Come on, let's go back to the shack. It's a lot warmer out in here. It's a lot warmer in here than out there, you know. Stan flicks on the radio once you're cruising down the road, and a good song comes on, one you both know the words to. Stan is humming along quietly, you pretend not to notice, not wanting to ruin a good thing. The breeze from the open windows is calming, and as trees whiz by, you don't regret getting soaked anymore. It's not long before Stan pulls up to the shack and shuts off the El Diablo, and you both exit the car. Your limbs crack and pop from exertion, and only now do you realize just how exhausted you feel from the day's adventure. Man, you'd kill for a nice warm dry bed right about now. Hey, Lisa, Stan halts for a moment and scratches the back of his head nervously. He's looking at the ground, shuffling his feet back and forth, trying to find the right words to say. I feel kinda bad about getting you all soaked today. I promised you'd be in good hands, and then everything went right to hell in a handbasket, didn't it? Stan, it's fine, really. Do you like campfires? What? I asked if you like campfires. Yes, I like campfires. If you have marshmallows to go with it at least. Great, hold on, I'll be just a few minutes. You're left confused and standing in the backyard of the shack as Stan dashes inside, slamming the door shut as he goes. A chill breeze whips through the trees and you shiver. Despite Stan's jacket, you're still a little damp, and being exposed like this certainly doesn't help matters. You check your phone, and after several minutes are ready to give up and head inside the shack when Stan comes back through the back door, arms full of marshmallows? Yes! Come here, I want to show you something. Curious, you follow him over to what appears to be a makeshift fire pit. There's already wood and kindling inside, and part of you wonders if Stan always keeps firewood lying around, or if he prepared this just for you. He pulls a book of matches from his pocket and strikes a match, the head bursting into a bright yellow flame. He tosses it into a wood pile, where gradually the kindling ignites. It's not long before you have a modest but warm fire at your feet. I figured you're still pretty damp, and I'm sure you're hungry as hell since we didn't catch any fish, so... He trails off and gestures at the fire and the marshmallows again. It's the least I could do for screwing up your day. You didn't screw shit up, it was that guy in the big speedboat being a fucking asshole. Stan. This is wonderful. This is wonderful, Stan. I thank you so much. Stan blushes just a little from the praise. You could tell he wasn't expecting it with that much sincerity. Well, shucks, I'm glad you like it. I think this is a good moment to save. Blushy boy. You're not sure how long you sit out by the fire, roasting marshmallows over the open flame. Stan's burnt his mouth more times than you can count trying to eat a marshmallow far too soon, and you've burned enough of the tree to make even the Stay Puft Man weep. Stan plucks another marshmallow out of the bag, turns it over in his fingers a few times like he's contemplating something before turning back to face you. You ever played catch with these? Huh? I mean toss them up and try to catch them again with your mouth. Yeah, who doesn't do that? Hey, thought I'd ask. You never know with some people these days. Suddenly, a grin spreads across his lips, and he tosses the marshmallow up in the air straight towards you. Catch! You lean back and watch as the marshmallow slowly arcs and falls towards you. You're gonna make it, you're gonna make it. It sails just past your cheek and lands on the ground. Stan makes a disappointed noise, but you pluck the marshmallow off the ground anyway and pop it into your mouth. Close enough. At least brush it off, it's been on the fucking floor. In the dirt. You know, sand. Suddenly the back door flies open and out come Dipper and Mabel, running up to the campfire excitedly. They're both in pajamas but look wide awake as ever, and are already snatching up the marshmallow bag to dig in. Are those marshmallows? Come on, Grunkle Stan, why didn't you tell us you were roasting marshmallows? What? Oh, okay. Come on. God damn it, my mom just called me. I'm gonna save it and keep it on pause, and I will get back to it later. Alright, a couple of hours have passed, but I can finally return to funkling the Grunkle. What the? Because she should be in bed, Pumpkin, that's why. He ruffles Mabel's hair affectionately and pulls her into his lap, handing her his roasting stick. Nope, we're teenagers now. Teenagers don't have bedtimes. Yeah, exactly. So Grunkle Stan. Answer still no, kid. No, you cannot go out on a 3-day camping trip to track ghost prints. But Grunkle Ford supports my theory. If you ask me, your Grunkle Ford needs a bedtime too. Isn't it kind of funny how Stan seems to be right now more of the responsible uncle instead of Ford? While Ford is supposed to be more of an intellectual, they're actually both pretty, well, bad influences on the kids, but it's also really, really fucking cute. So how was the live lizard birth? Oh, it was so exciting. Granddad Jr. was so relaxed she didn't even realize that Granddad Jr. Extreme was being born before her very eyes. And then, wait Dipper, you tell him the rest. Why don't you keep telling it? I didn't get a great look. But I gave you a front row seat right next to me. You saw the whole thing up close, immediately, unforgettably. Dipper shivers and not from a chill of the night air. Okay, fine. So Granddad Jr. Extreme imprinted on Dipper. Isn't that the cutest thing? Lil Dip Dop, a mom. No, it's not. And I'm not a little... I am manly. You and Stan chuckle at the kids' antics and give each other knowing glances as you each pop another marshmallow into your mouths. The fire crackles and you draw Stan's jacket further around yourself, feeling truly warm for the first time today. It's so silly, and I love every second of it. It's a new day, and you wake up early, grasped with the desire to go outdoors. You decide breakfast for one doesn't sound too bad. Maybe a walk, Greasy's isn't too far, and the food there was pretty good. You'll be back before anyone even knows you're gone. To fend against the morning chill, you pull on Stan's jacket, which you haven't yet returned from yesterday. You didn't see him when you got up, so it wouldn't hurt to wear it one more time, would it? When you arrive at Greasy's diner, you're immediately greeted with the scent of fresh coffee and sizzling bacon. Looking around at the other diners, you guess this is the breakfast rush. Of course, in a small town like this, that means about a dozen other people are here. You've only been in Gravity Falls a week, but you're starting to learn some of the names, and Stan's refresher yesterday helped some too. That big burly guy over there with the bushy red beard is... You're struggling to recall his name. Let's see, it was... Manly Dan. Hey Dan. Huh? Hey, you're the tourist staying with the Pines. My kids are off somewhere else, so I got an open seat if you need it. It could be nice to talk with someone other than the Pines for once. While fun, their hijinks can get tiring even for you. Let's sit by myself because at those times I could imagine wanting some alone time. Thanks for the offer, but I'll have to pass today. Suit yourself. You seat yourself at the empty booth near the far corner. After a few moments, the waitress approaches your table and you can recognize her as Lazy Susan. So, stranger, not here with the Pines family this time, huh? What's your name anyway? Oh, I'm Elise. Well, Elise, what can I get for you? You give Lazy Susan your order as she leaves you alone at the booth. Left to wait, your thoughts drift towards Stan. Your eyes drift easily closed. You find it still early enough in the morning to be tired. The comforting weight of his jacket on you, you imagine how Stan's embrace might feel with those strong arms around you. Stop it! He used to box, didn't he? You wonder how he'd look like that, and then you remember his offer to teach you a thing or two. Imagine how he'd look giving you private lessons. And despite knowing it'd be unrealistic. Okay, I'm going to save for a little moment because my throat is dry as fuck and I need a drink. And we're back with a glass of nice water. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Private lessons, and despite knowing it'd be unrealistic. Jesus fucking Christ! Don't blame me like that! I choked on my fucking drink! Why? Oh my god, I'm covering my eyes. Jesus! The image comes to mind anyway? No. Okay, let's go back for a second because I want to admire the coloring, mind you, okay? Let's look at this. This is actually really well drawn. Don't give me that look, you pervert old man. What the fuck? I choked on my drink. Thank you so much, developers, artists, bastards, whatever. You snap back to a sudden awareness of your surroundings. Face flushed with the heat of embarrassment, you shake off those thoughts. Where is the chill of the morning when you need it? Shame on you! Why would you do this to me? I don't know how to feel right now, okay? At that moment, Lazy Susan comes back with your order. God, it smells really good. Here you go. So I've been seeing you around here with the pines and I haven't even had the chance to talk to you yet. Mind if I stay for a bit? Not at all. Make conversation, ask her about the town. So how long have you lived in Gravity Falls? Oh, my whole life. Besides what happened last summer, it's always been a nice town. Nice people and nice food, right? Yeah, it's great, but what happened last summer, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, well, never mind all that. Ask about the diner. So are you the owner? Oh gosh, no, I'm just a waitress. Been here ever since I was a teenager. Me and Matilda have been the only waitresses here for years, but we've had a promising new trainee working here since the spring. She points out to the window to where a blonde girl around Mabel's age is shooing a raccoon away from the diner's trash cans. Lazy Susan puts her hands on her hips with pride. We're starting her out small. Woodpecker's next. What's up, Pacifica? Look at you, Pacifica, getting a job. Do you know Stanley Pines? She laughs. Who doesn't? Oh, he's a real charmer. Such a handsome fella. We almost had something once, but it didn't work out. It's so strange. I called him every night. So how are things going with him? What? You two look close. Saw you on the lake while I was fishing for dinner. Bet he's the real catch of the day, am I right? Laughing, Lazy Susan elbows you companionably, but you're speechless. She winds down with a sigh. Am I right? I'm right. Well, I better get back to work. It was nice to meet you, Elise. Enjoy your breakfast. And you do, digging back into your breakfast with gusto until your meal is again interrupted, this time by the buzzing of your phone from inside your pocket. Huh, it's a call from a number you don't recognize. Pick up. Maybe this won't be from a telemarketer. Hello? This Elise? Wait, Stan? Yeah, it's me. Look, I've got a surprise waiting for you back at the shack. Think you can get back over here from wherever you are? The surprise sounds intriguing, so you promise to be there after breakfast. It's not long until you finish up, you pay for your food and head out the door. As you approach the shack, you spot Stan already outside. Hey, I was about to call again to make sure you didn't get lost. You planned this sort of timing or what? It comes naturally. What's the thing you wanted to show me? You'll see, just follow me. Did he make a boxing ring? Awesome. Stan leads you to a room in the back of the shack that you remember being used mostly as a storage space. Now though, the furniture there has been pushed aside and boxes have been stacked against the walls to make room for what looks like a boxing ring? It looks ragtag, hand-constructed and distinctly homemade. He pulled this together just this morning. And more than that, are you psychic? You just left your boxing lessons fantasy on hold for the diner. I started putting this together last night after everyone went to bed. I was admiring my new clowning again, thinking about our drive last week, and I remembered I offered to show you how to throw a better punch. Stan shrugs casual, as though he hadn't already put loads of work into what he's prepared for you. So what you think? Ready to learn how to hit? Yes, absolutely. Whoa, someone's eager. He grins though, relieved, and it's like a weight came off of his shoulders. Did he think you might have said no? Well, here, from his pocket, he pulls a roll of what looks like gauze tape. Before we even do anything, we gotta wrap your hands properly. You could get hurt otherwise. He takes one of your hands in his, looping the tape around your thumb and winding it around your wrist, then up around your hand, wrapping it snugly. He pulls the tape between you through your fingers and as they rest on his palm. His hand is warm, the warmth seeping into yours as he holds it. It's faint, but you can feel the roughness of his palm as you watch as he works, confident but careful. It shouldn't affect you as much as it does. You should feel neutral, grateful, nothing more, but when it's him and the two of you are nearly face to face, the act holds an undeniable intimacy. He pulls the tape back around your thumb, then around your knuckles expertly. It feels tight. No, not tight, secure. Stan finishes the wrap at the wrist, and you watch him pull the tape towards his mouth. Clenching it between his teeth, he jerks his head to sever it. The remainder is then wrapped back around, snug and complete, and Stan smiles down at his work. He doesn't even look up at you yet, but if he had, you would have been embarrassed by the expression that's on your face. Other hand now. You offer your other hand and he starts on it, same as before. This time you watch the act less and watch the look in his eyes more. It's his focus you find and care underneath it. You can see it in every pull and twist of the tape, a conviction of to protect, to secure. You're so lost in the sight that before you know it, he's done and looking at you again. Alright, not too tight, is it? Nope. Then let me show you how you should be standing. Standing? Is there something wrong with your posture right now? Stan starts giving some sort of explanation, but the moment he steps up to you and places a hand at the small of your back to guide you, words lose their meaning. You don't want to be too stiff, you see. He directs you, smoothing out the line of your shoulders, widening your stance, placing guiding hands to show you how you should be positioning yourself. He's talking again, but you're more than a little distracted. Get it together. And that's why we do that. Make sense? Yeah. Good, now on to punching. I've got some personal experience with the way you hit. I already apologized for that. And it could use a lot of work. Kid, I'm telling you, I barely felt it. Here's how to direct that strength. He demonstrates, moving to your right to assume the same stance he's guided you into, swinging through empty air. He does it again, slower this time, for him to explain how to shift your weight, where to start from, and where to go. Then it's your turn, and after a couple swings of your own, the hands-on guidance is back. Stan's hands, first resting briefly at your waist to adjust the twist of your torso, go next to your shoulders, nudging you into better balance. Then he corrects the movement of your arms, and his chest is warm at your back as he reaches to show you where to go. Oh Jesus. Your breath catches. Oh Jesus. Yes, there. Damn, you almost had it. Try again. Come back here and... actually, I think it'd help if I had something to hit. Sure, we can. Elisa, you sure you want to go on? You're looking kinda red. This unexpected intimacy is a little overwhelming right now, and he's still so close to you. Especially after what you heard at the diner today, that whatever you have with Stan is obvious, it has you a little bit on edge. Oh, fine. You put this whole room together and we haven't even used it yet. We should. For that, you're gonna need these. He holds up a pair of standard, albeit a bit old boxing gloves, handing them to you. Oh my god, that's gonna reek, isn't it? You have some trouble putting them on, they're a little big. Hold on, let me do it. I'll lace them up for you. He takes your hand again like earlier, pulling the laces of the glove tighter and tighter until the fit is snug. Is that too tight? No, that's fine. He ties it off and takes your other hand, cradling it in his own for a moment before his hands move up, brushing along your wrist. He pulls the laces together, and as he does, you steal a look at his face. There's that same focus, that same care. The longer you stare, the more you feel heat rushing to your face, turning it red. How about that? It feels perfect. He looks up and his eyes lock with yours. He looks away, clearing his throat with a gruff cough, and you notice how now it's his face that's pink. That's the most adorable fucking face I have ever seen. We should get started. It's nice to see you aren't the only one affected, as you watch Stan quickly wrap his own hands with a lingering blush on his face. He pulls on a pair of fingerless gloves next and walks into the makeshift ring. You're gonna try and land a hit on me, alright? What, you're just going to stand there and let me hit you? Stan laughs, shaking his head. You'd think I'd make it that easy on you at least? No, I'm gonna be hitting back. Of course, I'm not gonna let any of my hits land, but it'll stall you enough to make it a challenge. Yeah? Okay, kom aan. Oké, dat is goed. Wat? En hoe laat is papa thuis? Oké. Okay. Sorry about that. That was my mom, and I have to cook, but I won't have to cook until 16:45. It's now 15:58. Right. Remember what I showed you. Jab, swing, and block. Putting them in action is just the next step. Boxing is pretty simple when you get down to it, but it's all in the timing. You need to know what the other person in the ring is thinking. It's almost like a dance. The other person in the ring, even though you're up against each other, they're just as much your partner as they are your opponent. Even though you're going head to head, you have to be willing to get intimate with them, knowing the right moves at the same time and in the right place. You wind up forming a bond with your opponent. You nod and step up to join him in the ring. Where did you learn so much about boxing? Well, oh no, he looks sad. Don't be sad, boy. That's safe right here. When we were kids, my brother and I had it a little rough. We weren't too popular with the other kids in the neighborhood. So our old man put us through boxing lessons. He wanted us to be tougher. My brother couldn't quite take it. Not exactly. Poindexter could ace the lessons, same as how he was good at anything he put that big old brain towards, but he quit first chance he could. But me? What else did I have going for me, you know? If anything, I had to be tough enough to protect him, to keep us all safe. I've gotta be the tough one, and I always have been. It's hard, but sooner or later, you forget what it's like not to have to feel tough. So I guess you could say it gets a little easier. After I left home, I was on the road for a bit. Got into my fair share of trouble that followed me wherever I went. But I was fine. I was tough enough. I knew how to fight. It got me far enough, didn't it? It's just gotten me through all these years, and here I am with the... Stan's eye seems to glisten, but he looks away before you can tell for sure. He smiles with a big ridiculous grin as though to reassure you. He fakes a cough and swipes at his nose. Geez, it's so dusty back here. We might as well get started already, huh? You probably don't want to listen to me rambling all day. Were you about to cry? Oh no. No, my sweet baby boy. Like I said, timing is key. Is it the time to make that big swing? Or will they be able to block it? Sometimes it's smarter just to take a quick jab. Even if you don't hit that hard, being quick enough to wear your partner down and keeping them blocked is enough to get you there. So let's dance. Oh dang, this is pretty neat. A jab is faster than a block and does 1 damage. A swing does 3 damage but is stopped by a block. If neither opponent blocks, both hits will succeed. Let's jab. Oh, we both jabbed. That's nice. Slow and steady, right? This should wear him down eventually. Stan doesn't look like he's starting any time out soon. Block. Hey, gotcha, bitch. Stan doesn't look like he's starting out anytime soon. Swing! Oh, jeez. We both swung at the same time. It's an even match. You can feel your confidence rising. Block. Jab. Oh, Jesus. I suck at this. Stan's breath have gotten heavier. He chuckles. You gonna last much longer? Bastard. Oh, jeez. You gotta have to call it. You don't have energy left in you. Stan laughs. It's been too long since I had a decent fight. Hey, you were great. I suck, dude. You laugh too. The two of you lock eyes again, and there it is, that warmth and that redness. You're both covered in sweat, out of breath, and even though you're both exhausted, you still pick up a light in his eyes, an eagerness. There's something there that's waiting to break in this moment of eye contact. Breaking the silence, you decide to be the first to act this time. You know what? I think I'd love to dance with you sometime. What? But I can't dance. Yeah, we should do this again. Definitely. But I mean, I think I'd really like to dance with you in a more literal sense too. Not as opponents, but together, you and me. You hope he feels this too. This connection, this chemistry you have, it can't just be you. Your breath is held, nervous, and while it felt like time stood still in the space of that pause, just a second later Stan breathed in and then he speaks. I'd like that, you know? I'd really like that. He's smiling in a way that lights up his face like you haven't seen before. You're smiling too, wide and goofy, full of sheer giddiness you can't contain. There's something intoxicating about it. With that feeling running through you, it's hard to fall back to earth. Hey, can you help me get these gloves off? Stan laughs, loud and free, and obliges. It's later that day, just after dinner, when you get around to telling Stan about your time at the diner. So, I guess I'm asking, is it always like that around here? People talking about my love life? Huh. After you've survived Mabel, everyone else is small fry. There's not much to talk about in this town, so when a tourist crashes their car into the jewel of the town at the peak of the season, that's some prime material. Enough of that though. I thought we could have a private movie night. You know, to wind down a little. I keep the movies in that cabinet there. Go and pick one. You open it up to reveal stacks of VHS tapes and a few DVDs. What do you want to watch? A stomach-churning horror film. You stick out a creepy movie about a bizarre swamp creature attacking a bunch of teens at a summer camp. Towards the climax, the teens knock the monster into the lake with a harpoon gun they stole off the quartermaster's fish. God fucking damn it, my fraps got off. For some fucking reason. Let's see. Toward the climax, the teens knock the monster into the lake with a harpoon gun they stole off the quartermaster's fishing boat. Just as it seems as though the fishman is gone for good, the creature's heads burst up out of the water. You yelp, startled by the cheap jump scare, and Stan chuckles. Slightly embarrassed despite it totally not being your fault that your basic instincts are intact, you bury your face into Stan's chest. For fuck's sake. He seems uncertain for a moment, awkwardly patting you on the back and clearing his throat. Hey there, it's alright. The flashback already showed how it's going to end. I still can't look. Pussy. Gruesome sounds continue from the TV and slowly Stan eases the patting into an embrace. Oh, God. The film continues, checking cliché after cliché of the list. Stupidly, when making your selection, you hadn't encountered for one of the most prevalent tropes of all. The final pair of surviving teenagers, believing they've defeated the monster that's killed all their friends, begin making out furiously in triumph, you guess? It's disgusting, really, with hands everywhere and unrealistic noises filling the quiet night of the camp and subsequently the living room. Ugh. You can hear Stan's heartbeat stutter in his chest and he coughs awkwardly into his fist. You dare not to make eye contact, instead lifting your head and shifting away from him. His touch is suddenly too much, and you thank the darkness of the room for hiding the redness of your face. Trying to wait it out, you silently cross your fingers that the couple will get killed off any minute now, but instead someone's pants start to come up and your brain jolts you to your feet. Haha, well, it's getting really late. Time to hit the hay. Yeah, agreed. Stan shuts the film off, and in the light of the monitor you can see his face is slightly red too. He doesn't seem mad or upset, so you relax a little, slowing down enough to take a calming breath. There's no use in being so nervous. And thank you again for the lessons today. My arms are sore, so I assume that means it's working. He grins, giving your shoulder a nice pat. Oh, definitely. Let me know in the morning if you still are. I've got some old tricks that could help. Good night, Stan. Good night, Elise. Huh, looks like this is actually working out. Call the caterers, I hear wedding bells. Mabel. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Snort, snort. We're going to leave it with snort, snort. Override data. Oh my god. I'm not sure how to feel right now. This dating sim is actually doing stuff with my heart. And it's wrong and nice at the same time. And I'm going to end it right here before you guys think I'm a fucking freak. Although, I'm sure it's already too late for that. So, you know what? Fuck it. I will see you in the next episode of, well, the Grunkle dating sim. The Funkle the Grunkle dating sim. Howdo.